so gnarly to direct them. It seems like all that's left is the primal urge to destroy. If this is all that the Wild Hunt can muster now, surely the Lightkeepers of Nightcry will be able to deal with what's left. Just like I thought, what we should be wary of now is Grandmaster. Based on Lightkeeper intel and our reconnaissance, one of the suspected targets should be just up ahead. Good, you know the drill. Stay here and stand guard. Leave the rest to me. Yes, Grandmaster. We meet again, Andreas. So, if it turns on one side, do you want to see what it looks like now? I was planning to take a look around there myself, but I think it'd be my dog. What's this? An echo from 1,000 years ago? Everything seems normal so far. Here's hoping I'm just overthinking things. There are 2 other places to check. Maybe this will all go smoothly after all. It's your turn, my friend. Come, Andreas. Although for returning to your own home, perhaps Andreas is a little too ostentatious. Might be better than I. Boris. Huh? Injustice. Corruption. Iniquity. Is the surface world still as wretched and foul as ever? Answer me, heir to the knighthood of Boreas. Looks like I'm not getting out of this without a fight. That's where things stand with the expedition. The victors will be returning home soon, so make sure to stock up on wine for the celebrations. P.S. I hope everyone's keeping up with their daily training. I'll be testing you all when I get back to make sure no one's regressed. P.P.S. I wrote individual letters for each and every one of you. Don't forget to write back. That's all.
Everyone gets one? Wow! Sir Wright-a-Lot is really living up to his name.
I guess the Grand Master must have something specific to say to each of us. Even I got a letter, and I'm not a real knight yet. Jean? Oh, yes. That's our Grand Master for you.
By the way, anyone know where I can find a cavalry captain? I have a letter for him as well.
You mean Kaya? He said he was meeting a friend from the church at the Angel Share. Allegedly for work. Said he was exchanging intel. But I'd say there's a 50-50 chance he's just there for a drink.
I'm on best there'll be lots of familiar faces here. How about we deliver Kaya's letter? And these are there too as well.
Really? Oh, that would be a great help, thank you.
Our thanks to you too, Lowen. The other knights will help distribute the remaining letters. You've had a long journey. Please go get some rest.
Great, but I won't be resting just yet. I have one last letter to deliver to Wolvendom. This one, I was planning on delivering personally. I heard that another challenger recently passed Boreas' trial.
Well, with any luck, that wolf might be willing to reveal himself to me, too. Very well, but please remember to show respect to local wolves.
I will. Goodbye.
Grandmaster offered lots of advice in his letter regarding my recent assessments. I didn't think he'd spare a thought for that kind of thing in the middle of an expedition. So, Honorary Knight, if you have the time, do you think you could help me out with my special training? He wants to test me to see if my skills have regressed? I still haven't forgotten how he went easy on me last time. I'm assuming you must have seen him going all out before. When the time comes, you'd better keep an eye on him for me. Ah, the Grand Master. The archives are filled with documents awaiting his review. I'm not letting him run off again until he's finished dealing with every last one. On another note, have you spoken to Jean? I hope she'll finally be able to relax a little once Varka returns. Okay, we'll deliver these letters to the Adventurers Guild and the Cat's Tail. You can just handle the ones for the Angel Share.
The expedition is finally wrapping up. I hope the maps I need on our way there are good enough to get them safely home.
The Grandmaster wrote in his letter that the blue blossom bombs we sent worked really well. He wants to know if we've made any more.
Is Varka coming home? I can't wait to go outside and play with him.
Honorary Knight, you're still here? Is it that obvious?
Huh? But Varka's coming back. The situation in Nokrai is stable. Surely things are looking up.
True. From what you and Lowen have told me, the expedition has indeed accomplished its strategic objectives. It seems that Mondstadt no longer faces any threat from the perils of the North, be they the Wild Hunt or the Doctor. And yet, for some reason, I can't help but recall something the Grandmaster said to me before he left.
If I don't make it back from this expedition, you'll have to assume the mantle of Grand Master of the Knights of Favonius. If it comes to that, remember to train the next Knight of Boreas in my stead. I planted some promising seeds in Mondstadt, but they still need time to grow. Some have yet to master the art of social interaction. Some don't yet understand that they too need protecting. And some, well, some might not even want to be a knight yet. What's wrong? There's no need to frown. I'm going on an expedition, not marching to my death. This is all just a contingency plan in the event that I'm unable to return. Until I return, I leave them in your care.
The lineage of the Knights of Boreas has nearly been extinguished twice in Mondstadt's history. The first wandering knight to claim the title arrived in Mondstadt 1,000 years ago, along with his wolf companion. He was as free as the wind. He left no succession plan behind. Even his name was lost to history. The title of Boreas could have disappeared from Mondstadt just as he did, but he had an informal disciple, a knight named Ravenwood, who admired the Knight of Boreas greatly. Ravenwood's valor and swordsmanship earned him the wolf spirit's recognition. When the old aristocracy tried to regain power, Ravenwood came once more to Mondstadt's defense. From then on, the title of Knight of Boreas was passed down from generation to generation within the Knights of Favonius.
Wolf spirit? You mean that big blue wolf in Wolfenden?
Correct. As you may already know, the Wolf of the North is the surviving spirit of an ancient god, and the Knight of Boreas serves as an intermediary between him and humanity. Lucas Boreas, who had never known what it meant to love, came to understand it through the journey with his human companion. In the end, he chose to allow his power to become one with the land. This was once a well-known tale in Mondstadt, but these days, few people are aware that the starting point of the Wolf King's journey was not Mondstadt, but Nokrai.
Huh?
The great Wolf King of the North came here from Nokrai, although he doesn't like to speak of his past. In fact, he rarely shows himself to people at all nowadays. As such, this tale can only be found deep within the Knights of Favonius library. Even among the Knights of Favonius, few are aware of it. The Grand Master didn't disclose any concrete objectives before departing on his expedition. I couldn't help but wonder whether it might somehow be related to Nokai's Wolf of the North. I kept my speculations to myself, however. Sharing them would only spread unwarranted suspicion toward the Four Winds among the people of Mondstadt. You experienced the turmoil caused by Duval and the East Wind's actions for yourself. Surely you can understand my concern?
No wonder Varka wasn't clear about his motives. Is that what he was worried about?
Very possibly. He was probably also reserving judgment. Having heard about your experiences in Nokrai, I now suspect that the Grand Master hadn't yet ascertained the true identity of our enemy at that time. And as it turns out, the calamity born in the north wasn't an ancient god, but rather the wild hunt and the doctor. I guess we were both jumping to conclusions. Yes, I completely agree. The tide can turn rapidly in times of battle. It's a leader's responsibility to prepare for every possible contingency. Even if his contingency plan never needs to be put into action, I'm sure the Grandmaster is relieved to know that it's in place. Thank you for being such a patient listener. I feel much more settled after talking with you. If you have any spare time, would you mind stopping off to say hello to the other knights? I'm sure they have all missed our honorary knight just as much as I have.
That turned into a pretty long conversation, huh? We should probably go deliver those letters to the angel share now.
When you're mixing drinks in hot weather, start by pouring in cold water and add ice cubes. Then drain out the water before adding the other ingredients. How's that for a secret recipe? Maybe it's worth a little intel in return.
Please. I've known that little trick for a good 10 years at least. You'll have to offer something a little more substantial if you're serious about trading.
I know there's no one else in the tavern right now, but do you two really need to talk so loudly? Especially if you're supposed to be exchanging confidential information.
Hiya, Rosaria, D-Luke! I knew we'd find you here.
Looks like it's about to get even noisier. A little liveliness never killed anyone. Traveler, Gaimon, what brings you our way? Please allow me to once again express my sincere condolences regarding your late father and the incident with Eric. We make absolutely no excuse for his crimes. I hope you will give some serious consideration to the question I asked you before I left, though I'm sure you're tired of hearing me ask by now. The Knights of Favonius will always welcome you. From the look on your face, I'm guessing the Grand Master is still refusing to drop it?
He nags like an old man. It's hardly surprising.
Huh? Drop what? What's this about?
Nothing, really. Before leaving on the expedition, Varka came here to chat with me over a drink. I failed to avoid him. He, asked me if I'd consider rejoining the Knights of Favonius, and I declined. He expressed his regret about everything that happened, and asked me to reconsider. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, right. Sounds like you skip a lot of details. There's clearly more to it.
Whatever details I chose to omit are in the past. Dragging them back up now serves no purpose. You say that now, but back then, you couldn't let it go. You and the Knights of Favonius were constantly at odds. I wasn't seeing the full picture. I've had a lot of time to reflect since then, but my answer remains unchanged. I'm not rejoining the Knights of Favonius. Both the Grandmaster and the acting Grandmaster are too upright and honorable. I can't see the shadows that lurk beneath them due to the size of the organization they lead. They need someone on the outside to keep watch vigilantly. If I had a Mora for every time I've heard you repeat that argument. I actually don't disagree with the first part of what you said. But don't you think someone can keep tabs on things from the inside?
When you join an organization, you're bound by its rules, no matter how free it may seem on the surface.
You think so? Never mind the Knights. Have you honestly ever been bound by the rules of the Church?
Good question. Have you considered that maybe that's why I chose to join the Church and not the Knights to begin with?
Are they arguing or not? It's kind of hard to tell. Oh, kind of like the contingencies Gene was talking about. The more ways they have to protect their home, the better. Huh? Traveler?
My reply won't be a long one. As usual. I'm sure Varka won't be surprised. What should I report back to the Grand Master on? Let me think. Public order inside the city, monster activity in the wild. Oh, and a review of the latest vintages. I think I'll leave it at that.
If you hadn't had to deliver that guy's mail, you wouldn't have been subjected to all this tedious arguing. When I write back, I'll tell him to quit making trouble for other people.
It's no trouble. Lowen did most of the work. We just volunteered to do the last leg of the journey. Mostly so we could come say hello.
So you see what's really going on here? All three of us fell for that old rascal's scheme far too readily.
Huh? Scheme? What do you mean? Was Varka lying in his letters then?
No. While I'm sure Varka knows full well that D-Luke would never agree to rejoin the Knights, I believe the sentiments he expressed were genuine, as was his offer to welcome D-Luke back. There are people like Kaya and I, and then there are those who are true champions of justice to the core. Those people are the most susceptible to being driven to extremes by great upheaval. It's happened in Mondstadt before. Not only that, but it happened to a Knight of Boreas. That'll really hit home for Varka, and that's why his nagging is even more persistent than usual. Yeah. So no one's told you this before? The lineage of the Knights of Boreas has nearly been extinguished twice in history. The first was at its inception. The second was the case I was alluding to.
Oh! Wasn't Gene telling us about this? Wait, and then we got caught up talking about the expedition, and we never got around to the second time.
I happened to hear about it from Varka once when he was drinking and started yammering on. The second crisis in the Knights of Boreas lineage, it was 500 years ago. Although the Knights of Boreas are meant to be intermediaries between humans and wolves, in practice, very few of them have been truly recognized by Lupus Boreas over the past millennium. Of those who have, the best known are the first Knight of Boreas, Ravenwood, the wolf pup Rostam, and Varka himself. But 500 years ago, there was one who earned the respect of Boreas even before gaining the title. He was a disciple of Rostam. They thought he would become the mightiest knight of Boreas who ever lived. He was the perfect knight, righteous, principled. His name was Roland, the blood-stained knight.
Yikes! Bloodstained Knight? That sounds a little ominous.
Well, apparently his original title was the White Knight, but he lost countless comrades during the Abyssal Calamity 500 years ago, including his tutor and mentor Rostam. The endless bloodshed stained his sword and armor a crimson as deep as black, transforming the White Knight into the Blood-Stained Knight. After that, he threw himself completely into battling monsters, leaving Mondstadt and the Knights of Favonius behind. To this day, no one knows his final whereabouts. It's hard to say whether the loss of an important figure in his life is what drove him to the point of obsession, or whether he was already too far gone to save. But had he known that the Knights of Favonius would always welcome him back, perhaps things would have turned out differently. So if you want my opinion, the reason why Varka keeps asking Diluc to rejoin, despite knowing that he'll never say yes, is to let him know you're not alone. After all these years, he's still as persistent as ever, just like how he used to be with me.
Huh. Turns out Varka's a lot more thoughtful than he lets on. Paimon had the wrong idea about him. Anyway, there's still something about this whole Boreas business that Paimon isn't really getting. Wasn't Andreas a god in Mondstadt thousands of years in the past? If so, why did Jean say that Boreas and the Wandering Knight only arrived here just 1,000 years ago? Plus, Paimon's super curious about what happened to Roland. That's a great idea! Jean said he hasn't been showing himself much lately, but he always seems happy to oblige whenever you show up. Let's go! What's going on here? Was both of them always like this? Paimon has a bad feeling about this. The Wild Hunt! What are they doing here? Watch out!
Time to relax. Yachon, Tachon, let's go!
monsters! You scared Paimon stiff! She thought you were—
Stop right there. Answer me this. The 2 letters I gave you, who are they for?
Oh, 2 letters? Wasn't it 3?
Okay. Well, Paimon's coolest naive expression doesn't appear to be an act.
Hey! What are you trying to say? Wait, what are you trying to say, huh? Huh? Paimon passed a test? Really? Huh? She didn't even realize she was taking one!
You may dispense with your suspicions. The Wolfpack has borne witness. They fought against the aberrations that encroached upon this land, and our attackers showed no ability to disguise themselves this time. A familiar scent. Come, I will await you at the usual grounds. Well, if the boss of Wolvendom has vouched for you, I guess I should apologize for doubting you just now. She was. Fortunately, my experience in Nodcry didn't go to waste. Turns out the Wild Hunt all feel the same when you stab them. They didn't stand a chance. Something seems wrong with that old wolf, though. Go on, you should check on him. Lupus Boreas, not injured. Why so weak? Am I not strong enough? You're not to blame. With your iron claw, you successfully blocked their attacks. However, your assault went beyond the mere physical world. They followed my trail from the distant north across the ley lines. They sought to collect the territory I protect. But I shall not let them succeed without a fight. We meet again, human Lupical.
So, are you saying that the Wild Hunt we just got attacked by came all the way from Nodcry to Mondstadt? How is that even possible?
As you know, I stand before you as an incomplete being. I am but one remnant of the god Andrius' soul. The source of this turmoil. I can sense it. It lies in the north. It is the part of me that remains in Nodcry, from whence I came.
Huh? Now Paimon's even more confused. How can you be in 2 places at once?
For many gods, housing a part of their soul within an object is no difficult feat. But those who can perform such delicate partitions as this are rare, even among the gods. The Wolf King, Andrius, was particularly adept in this art. Otherwise, no remnants of his soul would have survived till the present day. Huh? Bard's back?
Tonedif Bard? What are you doing here?
Maybe the god of Animo guided me here. for it appears that someone is in need of a tale from the distant past, and our wolf friend doesn't seem too keen on recounting it himself. Who better than a bard to do the honors? Lord Boreas, do I have your blessing to share this story?
As you wish.
Lupus Boreas wandered the frozen tundra and stumbled into the Sealy Hall. Enchanted by their song, tender as the dawn starlight, and curious about the ways of humankind, the wolf bade farewell to his home and set off for the city to the south. As the high tower crumbled and the fierce winds fell silent, Lupus Boreas, who once had hunted with the storm winds himself, looked within and inquired, was the shelter he provided for humanity really any different from that given by the reclusive king in his tower? The wolf entrusted those under his protection to a new god and quietly returned to the frozen north. There, in a palace long since abandoned by its former master, the great wolf closed his eyes and slept. 500 bitter winters passed, then 500 equally frigid springs. He slumbered undisturbed until a night stumbled in from the cold, just as Lupus Boreas had once done at the Sealy Hall, and awoke him at long last. The night asked the wolf to join him on a journey south, to see once more the land that had all but faded from his memory. The gentle wolf, unwilling to refuse the human's earnest plea, split his soul into two halves and left his home once more. Seeing how the ice and snow had given way to verdant plains, hearing the laughter and song that now filled the once somber city, the aging Lupus Boreas turned to his friend, the god of Animo, and remarked, "So, this is the world the humans dreamed of." Though the night's journey was not yet over, the wolf chose to bid farewell to his companion here. He had written the end to his story. What knowledge he had been gifted flowed into the land. Everything he was, he gave unto the world. Well, that's how a bard would tell the tale. Lord Boreas, is there anything you'd like to add?
There is no need for you to ask that question.
So that's what happened. You returned to Mondstadt with that knight 1,000 years ago, and then, for the sake of the new Mondstadt, you...
You need not feel remorse on my account. It was my answer, my decision. If anyone should feel regret, it is the part of me who remained and not cry. I fear Andres has not found peace in his heart even to this day. That is surely why those vile aberrations were able to exploit his weakness, sowing the seeds of all the turbulence that has ensued. But we followed Boreas' trail in Nardcry. We investigated and discovered no signs of instability. Andres should still be slumbering by the lakeside. Perhaps all the recent turmoil in Nardcry has had unforeseen consequences. And there's more. I detect another familiar scent from across the ley lines. A scent that reeks of blood.
Oh, the White Knight who became the Bloodstained Knight? The mightiest knight of Boreas? But wasn't he from 500 years ago? You think he's immortal or something?
I remember him as just a man. His lifespan should be no longer than any other of his kind. But before he severed his connection to Boreas, his final destination, it was the ancient kingdom of Conwea, as you call it. Beyond that, I know not if he lived or died.
want to get to the bottom of this, I'm afraid you'll have to make another trip to Nodcry yourselves. As luck would have it, another old friend of ours just so happens to be free right now. If you ask him nicely, he might give you a lift. That could save you a lot of time on the road.
No wonder I can suddenly sense the east wind's presence.
If even Mondstadt has been affected by the fallout, Nodcry must be in real trouble by now. I hope Varka can handle it.
Varka? Is he in danger?
I believe too many passengers would slow our dear friend down. I fear he only has room to carry one person, along with perhaps a diminutive companion.
Alright, wish it could be me, but I accept that we should send our strongest warrior to fight Nodcry's battles. I'll stay here and deal with any wild hunt to try harassing Mondstadt. It'll be a good chance to try out some new moves.
I stay in Mondstadt too. With Traveler's help, Varka will be safe.
Razor, give me your iron claw. Golden-haired traveler, give this token to the current Knight of the Race. It is a wolf spirit. It contains my power and thoughts. Though I have given him a piece before, I should bring him new strength.
The Dominator of Wolves once bestowed the power of his soul upon his pack, strengthening their hearts and sharpening their claws and fangs.
But human hearts and flesh cannot be the soul of a wolf directly. It would be akin to forcefully merging a human and a wolf into one being. They would descend into chaos. To prevent the entanglement of souls, the most I can do is temporarily house my power and thoughts within claws and fangs hard of steel. Although, truth be told, that knight does not lack the power. What he needs more is the thoughts within. But I shall leave this for him to explain. The Great Wolf King of the North remains strong for now. Besides, do I not have the protection of my Lupical?
I will protect Lupical. The North and Varka, I leave to you. Just give me the word whenever you're ready. I can read Varka's letter. I will try my best to write a reply.
Wolf's claws make poor instruments for writing human words. But that token will suffice to convey my thoughts. I sure didn't expect my experience fighting the wild-hunted Nodcry to come in handy back here in Mondstadt. Almost makes me wonder if this was the reason I was sent back. Also, how come that bard knows so much, and what was he doing at the Thousand Winds Temple? Well, whatever. I don't really care. As long as I get to do some fighting. I'm looking forward to trading blows with Lucas Boreas when he's fully recovered. I better wipe the floor with me.
Any questions before you set off? Better ask now. You'll probably have to hit the ground running when you get to Nodcry. The root of this turmoil lies with the remnant soul that Andreas, dominator of wolves and god of the North Wind, left in Nodcry. He once left Nodcry and braved the blizzards to confront the god of storms and claim the right to rule. Yet even as the tower fell, he chose to abandon his claim. Instead, he returned to the north and slumbered for 1,000 years, before finally journeying back, under the name of Boreas, with the first knight of Boreas to witness the new face of Mondstadt. When the wolf spirit could no longer maintain his physical form, Boreas chose to pour his power into the ley lines. With that, he became the North Wind of Mondstadt, as he is still known to this day. Any questions before you set off? Better ask now. You'll probably have to hit the ground running when you get to Nodcry. 500 years ago, Roland seemed destined to become the mightiest knight of Boreas ever to have lived. But he was too pure of heart. He believed firmly in his own ideals of chivalry, vowing to eliminate all injustice from the world. But the world had never been perfect and pure, nor would it ever be. Neither his mentor, the wolf pup Rostam, nor the Grand Master, known as the Lion of Light, could persuade him to temper his obsession. But what was the scent that reeks of blood that Lupus Boreas sensed? And what is its connection to Conria and the Abyss? Perhaps you will uncover the truth in Nodcry. Any questions before you set off? Better ask now. You'll probably have to hit the ground running when you get to Nodcry. The soul of a wolf is as unyielding as ice, and Andreas is a master of molding and shaping it. His people once drew great strength and wisdom from the wolf spirit, but human hearts and flesh cannot contain the soul of a god. Attempting to place the wolf spirit in a human vessel would slowly devour their sense of self, even if Lupus Boreas did not intend for that to happen. That's why Lupus Boreas developed the technique of imbuing weapons with his soul. It is his way of blessing his human Lupical with the wolf spirit's protection. In fact, there is an ancient song that tells this tale. A weapon once of common iron, now through friendship turned divine, twixt man and wolf a bond was made, a power born within the blade. As much as he might claim not to accept humans, his actions sing a different tune. Oh, but keep that little observation between us, will you? Any questions before you set off? Better ask now. You'll probably have to hit the ground running when you get to Nodcry. Alright, over to you, Dvalin! Alright! Hey, wait! How are we getting down?
Hold the line! The enemy's on the brink of collapse! Hey, Master! It's... Haha! Reinforcements! It's about time!
And I'm on too!
We're just about hanging in there. Most of they're going to take it care of now. Their leader's gonna have to make a decision soon. Fight or flight? What will it be, mightiest knight of Boreas? As expected, this hastily summoned wild horde is nothing but a disorganized rebel. A mere shadow of the forces gathered by the region of Solar. But they have served their purpose. I now understand your tactics, and you, in turn, understand mine. This
So that Wolf of the North lookalike, that was Andreas? But why would he be leading the wild hunt? And why was he talking about the bloodstained night? Oh, forget that. We can save the details for later. He was the enemy boss, right? Are we just gonna let him get away?
There's no point chasing after him. We've crossed blades already, and it ended in a stalemate. Right now, there's nothing we can do about him. True. We're still not certain of his true identity, but whether he's a god corrupted by the Abyss, or a legendary knight, killing him might be just about possible, especially now that you're here. The difficult part is, we can't kill him right now.
Huh? What do you mean? Is he immortal or something?
No. Judging from our skirmishes so far, I don't think he's got any special abilities of that caliber. Nor does he have the ridiculous level of power wielded by the five sinners. But, compared to River, our Khan folk clearly has a better understanding of how to exploit Nightcry to his advantage. Particularly when it comes to Andreas' remnant soul. Exactly. Sounds like you realize what the crux of the issue is. I managed to cut off a sample from our foe, which Albedo and Duran are analyzing as we speak. Meanwhile, our other allies should be making their way home from their own battles by now. Let's discuss this further when they're back. We still have some big challenges ahead before this expedition can finally be declared a victory.
The meeting's probably gonna be in the biggest tent, right? Looks like a bunch of people are there already. Why don't we go chat with them? Hey, good to see you again. Oh, Boss Smith asked me to pass on a message. She went to see Lauma and Columbina at the Frost Moon Scions. Apparently, there haven't been any changes to that space the Rahir of Solnari's in. That means the recent wild hunt attacks have nothing to do with Riri, right? Oh, that's a relief. Paimon doesn't fancy facing him again. They're keeping a close watch on it just in case. With so many moon experts on the case, we're in pretty safe hands, huh? Oh yeah, Lauma and Columbina asked me to pass on a message too. Focus on the enemy you are facing. The moon will protect you all. Oh, you know something? These Knights of Favonius are paying me a pretty nice sum to deliver a few simple messages. Oh, Varka's a generous guy.
Short distance propulsion module on cooldown. 15 minutes until next departure. Switching to chat mode. Hello there, Paimon, traveler. Varka placed a sizable order with the Clink Clink Konkaki craft shop. Aino is hard at work producing the strategic reserve, while I am handling the deliveries. Secondly, I am also here to attend the meeting in her place.
Huh? Flins! Paimon thought the Lightkeeper's rep will be Itola or Nikita.
You are quite right. However, Igloa and Nikita are both busy organizing Red Nikki's region-wide response to the recent attacks. And since I'm well acquainted with everyone else here, I was the one they recommended to attend the meeting. Sometimes you don't get a choice when there might be consequences down the line. Hey, Honorary Knight. Looks like pretty much everyone's here. Albedo and Duran are just wrapping up their analysis. You wanna wait for them here? Great. While we're waiting, could you update me on the situation in Mondstadt? And that's where things stand. The Wild Hunt is no longer under Eurythia Solnari's control, but it has been reborn from the ashes and is now launching widespread attacks. Intel from the Frost Moon Scions and the Curatorium of Secrets corroborates this. No disturbances have been detected in the space where Rara resides. What we are facing here is a completely new foe.
Summarizing current situation. To confirm, the present leader of the Wild Hunt is the creature resembling a wolf. Andreas, god of the North Wind.
More precisely, it's the external will that has seized control of Andreas' spirit, namely Roland, the Bloodstained Knight.
Whoa. Hold on. I'm completely lost. Isn't Roland some Mondstadter from like 500 years ago? How'd he suddenly get wrapped up with a god from 1,000 years in the past and the present-day Wild Hunt?
Allow us to explain that part. Are you familiar with compensation mechanisms? When an organism sustains damage, relevant tissues will undergo changes to offset the loss of function. For example, when one kidney is damaged, the other will be strengthened to compensate. Or when the main artery is blocked, the collateral vessels become more active. Similarly, when the Wild Hunt lost their leader, the Abyss harnessed the memories that flow throughout the ley lines to fashion a new one, fit for the present circumstances. That new leader is a mirror image of Roland, the Bloodstained Knight. Right. No matter how strong the compensation is, it will never quite match the functionality of the original organ. The Roland replica can't possibly imitate Barrier's overwhelming power, nor his ability to disguise himself as others. So, the Abyss made use of the connection between Roland and Barrier's to compensate for this lack of power. The replica corrupted, and took control of Andreas as he slumbered by the bank of Ansvartnir, ultimately manifesting as the giant beast that you all witnessed. However, exactly why the Abyss chose Roland to mimic, and indeed how it was able to do so, remains unclear. I guess he must have gotten caught up with the Abyss or Nightcry somehow during his wanderings through Teyvat. But we can keep those questions on the back burner.
Okay, Paimon gets all that, but what did you mean when you said we can't kill him right now?
We can't kill him right now because a dead god may prove more dangerous than a living one. For intelligence gathered during the expedition, we have reason to believe that the power released when a god is felled can have catastrophic consequences for us mortals. Worse still, the wrath that remains after a god's passing becomes a source of endless turmoil. Once god remains contaminate the land, they will persist for thousands of years. This land has already been ravaged by the Wild Hunt. If we add god remains to the mix, it'd be like adding salt to an open wound, placing everyone who lives here in perilous danger.
Query. While I can indeed find records of disasters caused by god remains in my database, there also appear to be cases of gods dying naturally with no ill effects. In that land, the passing of the Pyro Archon's flame is a common occurrence throughout history, and even the part of Andreas who remains in Mondstadt has experienced death once before, has he not?
Great question. Glad you asked. Honorary Knight, you said Lucas Boreas gave you a token to pass on to me? Please, present it now. It should help explain things faster. Come forth, Boreas. This form has come to the end of its time. I'm afraid I can accompany you no further on your journey. My soul will fall into silence, and my power will flow into the ley lines of this land. Perhaps He saw it too. You must have keen powers of perception. Not that it surprises me. That was Boreas's final thoughts before merging with the ley lines. It's the reason Mondstadt remains unharmed by his god remains. In his final moments, he made a choice to give everything he was to the ley lines. All to protect Mondstadt from harm.
Sounds like Andrea spent thousands of years searching for his place in the world, too.
Yes. And now our task is to return the answer he found, the decision he made, to Andreas' heart. Only then can he break free from the corruption and control of the Abyss, and make that decision once more. I see. I would say that planting thoughts inside the mind of a god sounds a little far-fetched, but since it was his own wish to begin with, it sounds feasible to me.
Oh wait, we already have a perfect solution? Then why are we even having this meeting? Let's go do this thing!
If only it were that simple. Unfortunately, this one thought alone is unlikely to be powerful enough to break through the Abyss's control and reach Andreas' heart. We need to find a way to make the thought within this sword stronger and more resilient. For now, Boreas needs all his remaining strength to fight against the abyssal corruptions of Mondstadt's ley lines. He can't afford to send us any more of his power. However, since his form was unstable during his journey with the first night of Boreas, many will spirit fragments were left behind along the way. If we can collect those fragments, we can use them to strengthen the decision to merge with the ley lines.
So we need to retrace his steps and look for random fragments? But they could be anywhere between Notcry and Mondstadt. It'll be like looking for a needle in a haystack.
You don't need to worry about that. There's a few fragments left to gather in Notcry, but apart from that, most of them are already inside this sword. I've been collecting them during the whole expedition.
Huh? Wait, really?
I mean, it's an expedition, not a stroll in the park. Each step of the way, we've been hard at work planning for every possible contingency. Not just the wild hunt in the Abyss, but ancient gods remaining in Notcry.
Sounds like this plan was a long time in the making.
It's almost as if you foresaw the future. As a matter of fact, I did. I caught a glimpse of fate's reflection, but I can't take credit for it. It was all thanks to the help of a few friends. Still, all I foresaw was that an abyssal calamity was brewing in the north, and I know more. We could have saved a lot of energy. Instead, we've had to make best guesses, prepare for every possible scenario. If all that preparation went to waste, all the better for it. Anything that proved useful, we knew we'd be grateful for down the line. Sure is. Just one crucial step remains. We need to gather the last few wolf spirit fragments scattered around Varka, and use them to make the thought within the sword as strong as it can possibly be. According to what Boreas told me before we left Mondstadt, his form was at its most unstable at the beginning of his journey. That means the fragments here should be the most powerful ones. But of course, we've been tired of fighting battles since the day we set foot in Varka. First with the Wild Hunt, then with the Doctor. So, it wasn't until recently that we were finally able to confirm the status of the wolf spirit fragments. We now know there are 3 left to find.
Okay, so 3 more mini expeditions to go.
I managed to gather 1 fragment before Roland reappeared. I also have a confirmed location for the second, which I'll take care of in short order. As for the 3rd fragment, we've identified a general search area to focus on, but we'll need all hands on deck to pinpoint the exact location. The final snag is that since our foe is a replica of Roland, he too will be aware of Andres' history. He's sure to try and sabotage our plans by any means at his disposal. So everyone needs to bring their A game. With our foe being from Mondstadt, it's our duty as Mondstadters to defeat him. And since the Wild Hunt is involved, the Lightkeepers will provide their full support.
The Clink Clink Crumcocky Craft Shop will also help in any way we can.
So what do they need me here for? Wait, I think maybe I signed a contract at some point. Didn't exactly scrutinize it though. I mean, don't actually read those things anyway, right?
Great. Knew I could count on you all. Lastly, our friend from the Curatorium of Secrets will provide intel and relay battlefield communications. Looking at you, Yehoda. So, he'll be darting back and forth across the battlefield, dodging the Wild Hunt and the shadow of an ancient god. I'm impressed by your courage, Miss Yehoda.
Waiting for Yehoda updated. Higher quality ingredients will be used to prepare your future meals.
Darn it! I should have known this dating wouldn't come that easy.
Now deal with the second wolf spirit fragment, which we already know the location of. The moment you make any progress with Fragment 3, be sure to give me an update. Traveler, can you join me in retrieving Fragment 2? I have a feeling that your unique constitution might come in handy. Alright, time is of the essence. Let's move out, people. Dismissed.